Hey gang, Uncle Todd and Sonny here, and we are up now to episode 5 of Stranger Things. I was going to do this last week, but unfortunately, right after New Year's, or no, right after Christmas, that was it, I ended up in the hospital. I'd had a impacted uh, bowel. Very painful. Would not recommend. Had to have surgery that night. I'm on the mend. Everything's okay. But yeah, not an experience I would recommend. If you've ever had a kidney stone, this is even worse. Anyway, we are here with episode 5. And after a brief recap, because it was the midway point, we start up with Will coming out of the trance he was in when he destroyed all the Demogorgons. Joyce and Mike gathering themselves together and escaping into the tunnels before the army reinforcements show up, and they find Lucas in the tunnel. He's a little worse for wear, but they patch up some of his wounds and they head all back where they can reconnoiter with Murray and Robin. And while they're making their way through the tunnel, Joyce has an idea. She now knows she cannot protect Will. He is needed to fight, and he can do things they hadn't realized, that even he hadn't realized. And maybe if they can reconnect Will to the hive mind, he can defeat Vecna. It's a good idea. Which she will propose to everyone, but how do you do that? Well, they're going to need to think on that. Meanwhile, Murray gets them all something to eat. Engine can't run on empty. In the lab in the Upside Down, Kay, who has recovered, has her men break their way into the holding cell that was holding Callie. And Callie's still there. Hop and Elle are not. How? How'd they get out? It's then that Kay realizes that's not Callie. That's a projection that she's casting from wherever she is. They're way out of range. They're out off the base, heading towards the church. And once they hit a certain distance, Callie loses her connection and she fades away. Or the image. They get to the church, and of course, as we learned last week, Jonathan, Steve, Dustin, and Nancy aren't there anymore. Dustin had postulated about a generator that is creating the wall around the Upside Down, and that at the center, where the generator must be, is the lab. So they've headed out there. Oh, sorry. Someone's calling. Sorry about that. Uber Eats arrived. Where was I? Oh, yeah. Now, while Hopper is trying to raise Dustin and the rest of that group, Callie starts talking to Elle. And it turns out that the army had tracked Callie and the other kids down. And they killed all the other ones except her. They brought her back to that lab they found her in. And Kay was draining her blood over and over and over again. So she tried to escape. And she almost made it. But she came upon something that delayed her. She found out what they were doing with all that blood. They were giving it to pregnant women. Only it wasn't having the same the effect of it was killing both the women and the babies. And recaptured, she's telling how that she didn't realize they weren't created by drugs in a lab. They were created by Henry's blood. And that there was only one of them that became as powerful as Henry. L. That's why Kay is so determined to grab her, so that they can restart the program. Because they never learn. Elle doesn't like that. Meanwhile, the kids, who are all taken, wake up in a field, and Henry leads them to a house where he tells them that he needs them for a great endeavor to save their parents and everyone else. There's another world, and world of light, and darkness is coming to their world. But with their help, he can bring that light into their world and save everyone. Holly knows better. She also learns that Henry isn't leaving. He has all the children he needs. She sneaks out to meet Max, and Derek follows her because Derek knows about, Henry's lies and stuff. And it is determined that he is bringing another world into theirs to destroy it. So, they have Derek go back to his old self of being a jerk. And he, in front of everyone, walks into the woods, scoffing at Henry's warnings. Now, while he did that, Max and Holly are heading for the field they woke up in, where they find a door, which starts leading into Holly's memories. And they start with the first appearance of Henry, although Holly wasn't aware of it, which then leads to their first meeting, and then the other meetings, and on and on and on. But then Henry finds Derek and threatens him pretty crazily to find out where Holly and Max are, because Henry had a map of where he was supposed to go to meet them. Anyway. Both Erica and Lucas, being brother and sister, have competing ideas on how to jack Will back into the hive mind. Erica thinks they can build a new tracker with the help of Mr. Clark, the science teacher, who taught Dustin everything he knows. Lucas, while making popcorn, remembers that heat generated particles and helped Billy fight the particles that had infected him and made him a tool of Vecna. So, they should use the power of the radio station to shock one of the Demogorgons, activating the particles, and Will can use that. Joyce decides they're going to do both. So first off, they test to see if they can even do shocking. They can. They go and get a Demogorgon, and they ready up everything, and they shock him, and it works. And Will connects, and he connects to Derek, where he learns Holly is with Max. They're both in wherever they are. And where are they? Well, they're in the memory of when Holly got abducted. Unfortunately, Henry is there too, and he's become Vecna, and he's about to kill Max. But Will manages to take over Vecna, breaking Vecna's leg, and then telling Holly and Max to run, which they do very intelligently. Then Vecna reverts to Henry and manages to push Will out of his mind, and Will collapses. At which point, Holly then cranks up the voltage and fries the Demogorgon to break the connection. In the lab, Dustin and Steve, they've broken up into two groups. Dustin and Steve have a major blowout that's been brewing, since episode 1. And they have a fight, which breaks the antenna on Dustin's walkie-talkie. And then they separate, and Dustin finds an office with a map, exactly like the one he drew on his calculations on the wall. And he starts going to the diaries that he finds there and finds out it's not a generator. Jonathan and Nancy follow a trail of slime up to the roof because there's nothing, it's like nothing else. There are no particles in this area. Very interesting. And they also have a little falling out on back and forth about why they've been so weird with each other. Nothing's resolved. Okay. They get to the roof and they see something odd about the sky overhead. Flashlights find weird stuff. And then Will breaks off a pipe and throws it. And it has this effect. Kind of like if you're in a holodeck and you threw a rock really hard, since it wouldn't be expecting it, and it would shimmer when it hit the edge. That's kind of the effect. So they radio Dustin, hey, we found the generator. Dustin gets that, but he can't call them back to let them know it's not a generator. And if they do and if they try to take it down, it could destroy everything and everybody. And he's racing to warn them. And Nancy loads up her shotgun and fires it. And that's where we end. Boy, things are happening hard and fast here. But we were making progress. Everybody learns Max is in the Upside Down. That's why she hasn't come out of her coma. And we'll learn more about what Kay is doing. Such a fool. That hubris. Well, I could control what he couldn't. We're going to make these and we're going to make them our way. And stupid. But that's government for you, especially military government. Better, newer weapons. That goes all the way back to Plan 9, when the alien was warning the general about the solar bomb that explodes particles of sunlight. But if you would explode it, it would destroy everything that touches or is touched by the sun, because it would destroy the sun. They're like, well, but this would make us more powerful. That's the same concept here. Stupid. Yeah, good episode. Really enjoyed it. Please hit like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.